Hello, how is everyone doing today? Welcome back to Vegas Aces Open Classroom Livestream. My name is Heather Ferris, and today I'm going to be teaching you roulette. So if you guys have any questions, go ahead, put them in the chat, or if you're watching this on replay, go ahead and put that in the comments below, and I'll answer your questions later on. Now, before we get started, I just want to remind you to subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification bell so that way you're always notified of our latest videos and live streams. My next live stream will be my roulette tournament live stream on Monday, November 25th at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So as we're waiting for people to get in here and start commenting and all of that fun stuff, what I'm going to do is talk a little bit about updates. We have 2 updates on the website, just in case you guys haven't seen it. We have Pai Gow tiles on the website. So if you guys are learning Pai Gow tiles and you want to practice at home, but you don't want to buy a Pai Gow tile set or you're having trouble finding one, go to my website, vegas-aces.com, and you will see in the What's New section, roulette tiles. So what you do is you click on it, PDF comes up, you print the PDF out, and then you take scissors and cut it up, because I have little like dotted lines and everything, so cut along the dotted lines. And you will have your very own set of Pai Gow tiles to either play with at home or practice with. Also too, we got new merchandise, so check that out. We have Got Dice t-shirts, mugs, hats, all sorts of stuff. No, actually, I don't think we have hats, but we're going to try to get hats one day. And we have new merchandise coming out every single weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We are gearing up to Friday, Cyber Friday. No, wait, what is that? Black Friday, Cyber Monday. That's what I'm trying to say. So we're gearing up towards that. So if you're looking for gifts for Christmas to buy your friends, check out our merchandise store and see if there's anything there that your friends or gambling acquaintances or whoever you're buying gifts for, see if they like that. Check it out. Let me know what you think. Also too, if you have any suggestions for t-shirts, go ahead and put it in the chat and I will check that out, and hopefully we will make the shirt that you want. Now, Super Chat and Patreon. Remember to tip your dealer, and now you can with Super Chat. Super Chat is a way YouTube allows you to show your appreciation by tipping me any amount you want. Go ahead, give it a try, or support us by becoming a member of our Patreon page. We have several different levels and rewards to choose from. Any membership level counts, even $1, so please join today. Also with Super Chat too, we got our Super Chat perks. So if you want to do a Super Chat perk, go ahead and do that Super Chat amount, and I will either dance, hopefully not, give you a story, or give Pip a treat. Pip loves those treats. I, however, am a horrible dancer, so it's more funny than actually like, oh, she's a good dancer. No, it doesn't work like that. I am so not a good dancer. Okay, so let's see here. Sweet. Hey Rocky, hey Intergalactic Press, how you doing today? You guys having a good week? What's up? Dance, girl, dance. No, I am the worst dancer ever. I swear I just embarrass myself when I dance. Okay, so let's start getting these chips out, getting things ready to learn roulette. Now with roulette, roulette uses roulette chips on their table. They don't use actual real chips. You could tell the difference by the colors and also the denominations on the chip. I'll give you guys an example real quick. Okay, let's see if you guys can see this in the camera right there. I don't know if you can. This chip, for example, would be a casino chip. The reason why is because it has a dollar value amount on it. Usually these chips come in red, which are $5, greens, which are $25, blacks, which are $100. Super easy. Dollars could be, you know, different colors. They could either be white or blue. Now that is a monetary chip, or a check, I should say, same thing, that you would see in a casino and you would play on a blackjack table, craps table, or other tables. Now, if you are on a roulette table, you have roulette chips. And I'm going to try to show you in the camera right here. I probably need to add more lighting for you guys to see it. Let me know if you guys can see it okay. But a roulette chip, they're different colors. So this roulette chip in my hand right now, this is blue. They'll usually have the casino name on it and also a number, but this is not a monetary number. These chips do not have a number, but usually roulette chips, they'll have like 1, 2, 3, 4, one of those numbers on there. And the reason why is because, let's say if you're on roulette number 1, your roulette chips will have a number 1 on it, so that way the casino knows that those chips go on those tables. If you're on roulette number 2, then your roulette chips would have a number 2 on it, indicating that those chips go to those tables. So that's why they have those numbers. They're not monetary numbers, monetary value type numbers. They are just what table you're on. And these chips could be any amount that you want. Normally they are $1, but if you want to do $5, $25, $100, whatever you want, you can make those that denomination as well. The dealer just has to mark it up. So we are getting these out. As you can see, these are blue, these are green, and then I think we got peach as well. Now the reason why we have different colors is to indicate which player is betting what bet. So if you have a full table of players, let's say 6 different players, and they're all betting $5 chips or dollar chips, well, if you played with normal monetary amounts, you wouldn't be able to determine who bet what. You know, you're just going to see a bunch of red chips and a bunch of white chips, and you're going to be like, I don't know whose bet that was, but someone needs to be paid. Well, you can't do that on roulette. That's not good to do on roulette. So that's why we have the different colors. By the way, Pip is saying hi to you guys. Not really, but it sounded good. Next up, before we go next up, let me finish what I was talking about real quick. These are peach. So anyway, so what happens if you have 6 players on the table is everyone gets a different color. So this player, for example, right here, would have blue chips. This player right here, for example, would have green chips. And this player right here would have peach chips. So that way, when they're making their bets and they're putting all their money out and everything, the dealer can easily look at the table and determine who bet what. So, for example, if we had that, let's see if you can see that on the camera. Yep, you can. And this, if those were all dollar chips or if those were all $5 chips, you wouldn't be able to tell the 3 different people bet on one spot. You're just going to be like, oh my God, I got a lot of chips and I got to pay those chips. But if you're using roulette chips, which are different colors indicating the different players, then you're easily going to be able to see, oh, this player right here has 3 chips straight up on 16. This player right here has 4 chips straight up on 16. And this player has also 4 chips straight up on 16. And then you could pay the bets accordingly. And that makes it a lot easier for the dealer to do the take and pay procedure. Okay, so let's see what you guys are saying in the chats real quick, and then we will move on. And also, too, let me know if you guys have any questions. If there is anything that I'm not covering or anything you want to know more about, whether it's on roulette or any of the other games, feel free to ask. That's what I'm here for. That's what these live streams are here for. So that way, if you have any questions, if you want me to demonstrate anything for you, I could do that here, now, in real time. Okay, so let's check out and see what you guys are saying in the chat. Sweet. Hey, Nathan. Good to see you. Thank you for stopping by. Awesome. Tube Wings. There's going to be a special series. Ooh, Jeopardy, really, in January. Oh, yeah, I remember hearing that. I gotta watch that. I hope they put that on the internet because I don't have ABC, but I really hope they put that on the internet because I really want to see that. Hey Dane, how you doing? Good to see you. Sweet. Just so you know, I had an agreement with Pip. She's supposed to bark whenever I come online. So that's what happened. Okay, now I understand. Now it all makes sense. Thanks, Dane, for explaining that. Oh, sweet. Thank you so much for the super chat, Rocky. I really appreciate that. Oh, no. The lights went out, and I didn't realize it. And also, I don't have Pip treats. I wonder why the lights went out. Okay, let me turn the lights on real quick. This is going to be fun. I got to go to the basement real fast, and then I will go to the living room and get the treats. I will be right back. Let's see if I could do this. Okay. Okay, so we're good on the lights. Awesome. Let me get dog treats for Pip. 1 second. Pip heard her name and she came running over. Okay, now normally what I would do is I would feed Pip on the table, but I'm not going to do that now, and the reason why is because I have a gorgeous roulette layout hand painted from, well, I can't tell you where it's from, but from one of the casinos, and I really don't want her up here with her claws and everything, so I'm going to give her her treat right here. 2 treats. Got 2 treats for her. I'm going to give her the treats right here, and she's here waiting. She is very interested in her treats. There you go. Okay. Thank you very much for that, Rocky. I appreciate it, and she appreciates it. And she is, I'm going to totally trip over her, too. I didn't realize I put it, like, right in the middle. So, thank you very much for the super chat, Rocky. Oh, cool. Thank you. I'm glad that worked for you, Jose. The chat isn't appearing. Oh, thank you. I will fix that. I was rushing today, so there's a couple things I forgot. I'll be right back. Okay, so that should have fixed it. Like I said, I was rushing, so I forgot a step. But we got that taken care of. You guys can see the chat. Thank you so much for letting me know about that. And let's see here. Okay, everyone else is good. Hey, Andrew. Good to see you. Okay, so let's start this baby while everyone is in here. So, roulette. Now, my favorite thing about roulette is that if you add up all of the numbers on a roulette table, it equals 666. And that's why this game is known as the Devil's Game. I love that. I think that's one of my favorite pieces of information about roulette. Now, looking on the roulette table, you will see that half of the numbers are red and half of the numbers are black. Depending on the table that you're at, you could have either 1 0, 2 zeros, or 3 zeros on the table. If you are new to roulette, do not sit down at a roulette game that has 3 zeros. If you have 2 games next to each other, always do the one with the least amount of zeros. And the reason why is because on roulette, if you have 1 0 on your game, then you are going to get a 2.7% house edge. If you have 2 zeros on your game, that house edge is going to go up to 5.26%. And if you have 3 zeros on the game, the house edge goes up to 7.69%. Now remember, with the house edge, the higher it goes up, the worse it is for the player. The higher it goes up, the less money the player is going to win, or the more money they're going to lose, however you want to look at it. I'm trying to be positive. Now, there are actually 4 different versions of roulette. Single zero, double zero, triple zero, everything that we talked about, but also French roulette. Now, there are casinos out there who don't understand the difference between French roulette and a single zero roulette game, so you're going to have to ask them if they have the L'Apotage principle. And what the L'Apotage principle is if you are betting on any of the even money bets, only the even money bets, and a 0 hits, instead of losing, you get half of your money back. So on any other roulette game that you play, if a 0 hits, all of the outside bets lose. But on La Patage or French roulette, or I should say on French roulette with the La Patage principle, it's like one of the rules. If a 0 hits, then half of your money would be lost, but you get half of your money back. And that brings the house edge down to 1.36%, which is so much better than the 2.7% with just the 0. So if you're looking for a really, really good roulette game, look for one that has a single 0 and ask the dealer if it has the La Patage principle. Some of them won't know what that is. So just ask them, if 0 hits, do I get half of my money back on even money bets? If they say yes, you know it's a French roulette game. If they say no, then you know it's just a single 0 game. And you will usually find French roulette games in the high limit area of a casino. Okay, so let's see. Let's see what you guys are saying real quick. I don't think I've ever seen a 3-0 roulette game. Whew, that's a good thing because they are really popular in Las Vegas right now. And it is so disturbing. I will walk into a casino, I will see a 3-0 roulette game filled with people, and right next to it is a single 0 roulette game with one person playing. And I feel so... I want to say something, but I can't. And I feel really bad for those players because they think that they're getting a better game because they have 3 zeros on the table, but they don't realize they're actually screwing themselves. They would win so much more money if they were playing on the single 0 roulette game rather than the one with 3 zeros. I try not to get involved in people's gambling. If they're happy, that's all that matters. So I don't like go putting my 2 cents in. But just so you guys know, if you're on a game, you're looking for a really good roulette table, look for the one that has the least amount of zeros. Hopefully it doesn't become popular outside of Las Vegas. I fear that it will because it's just one more way for the casinos to make more money off of the players without the players realizing it. But it's just really bad for the player. I thought most of them were either 2 or 3 zeros. So Intergalactic Press, typically it was 2 zeros. Typically roulette had 2 zeros and that was it. And you can only find the single 0 roulette game in Europe. But in probably 2015, the casino started... Well, here's the thing. It was one of those things where casinos were going around in 2010, 2015, and they started changing the tables from, say, on blackjack 3-2 to 6-5 without telling people. This increases the profit for the casino because players who are betting on a 6-5 blackjack game are going to lose more money because it has a higher house edge. It's worse for the player than they are going to be on a 3-2 game. Well, this worked so well that they started doing it with other games, including roulette. And that's why right now you will see a big explosion of roulette tables on the casino floor that have 3 zeros rather than 2 zeros because they're trying to get those players, they're trying to get more money from the players without having the players realize it. Some of those casinos do have a single 0 roulette game, but because players don't understand the difference between the two, they end up playing the 3 zeros rather than the 1 0 and hurting themselves in the process. Okay, so let's see what you guys... Okay, so everyone else is good on the chat. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask it in the chat and I will answer it for you. But let's continue. So let's see. Okay, next. How to place the bets. So if you are on a roulette game, you're going to buy in for, let's say, $100, right? The dealer is going to give you your $100 in roulette chips, and usually it is in this position. If you keep watching this live stream, later on in the live stream, I will actually go into how to move the stacks of chips, depending on the number of stacks, for dealers out there who need help with that, because I know some dealers need help with that. If you want that information right now and you can't wait, go to vegas-aces.com under the articles section under roulette, and you will see a whole guide on the different hand placements for pushing a stack of roulette chips. So the player buys in for 100, dealer gives them their $100 chips, and now the player could start playing. When you go to a roulette table, you're going to look at the minimum maximum sign that they have on the table. So usually it will say a minimum of $5, a maximum of 100. Actually, sometimes it'll be a little weird. So roulette's a little strange. Let me just go into this real quick. If you're on a blackjack table and you see the minimum maximum sign, it's usually minimum $5, maximum 1,000, or whatever amount that they want to choose. But it's just one number. You know what the maximum is. It's 1,000. It says it right there. There's no confusion. Now on roulette, there's a little bit of a confusion because you have multiple max. And what I'm saying is usually you'll have a maximum amount that you could play on the inside. And when I say the inside, I'm saying the inside numbers. So all of the numbers that you see right here, 1 through 36 plus the zeros, those are known as the inside bets. If you're doing a maximum amount, let's say the maximum amount would be $25 straight up on a number. That's what the max is playing inside. So you'll see on your little minimum maximum sign that it'll say $25 maximum inside, and then it'll say like 2,000 maximum outside. And the outside is these bets right here. These are the outside bets. The outside bets include the even money bets right here, which are 1 to 18, even, odd, red, black, 19 through 36. Those are all even money bets, and they're considered outside bets. So are the dozens. These are the dozens right here. You have your first dozen, which covers 1 through 12, this area right here in this box. The second dozen, which covers this area right here in this box. And the third dozen, which covers this area right here in the third box. So that's what the dozens are, and they pay 2 to 1. So the dozens and the even money bets, those are outside bets. Also the columns right here, these are outside bets as well. So if you put a bet right here, any of these numbers in this column, if any of them hit, this bet gets paid 2 to 1, and this is also known as an outside bet. Okay, so it's a $5 minimum table. You want to do black, so we're going to put $5 on black because it's a $5 minimum table. Easy, right? But you also want to do the third dozen, so you're going to put a chip on third dozen. Well, you can't exactly do that. The minimum, like I said, is weird. It's $5 per spot, only on the outside bets. $5 per spot, only on the outside bets. So if we want to play black, we have to do $5. If we want to do the third dozen, we have to play $5. And if we want to do, say, one of the columns, we have to do $5. Let's say we want to do odd. We already have $5 on black. Let's do odd. We still have to put $5 on odd. So it's a little strange, but that's only on the outside bets. So minimum $5. We got our $5 bets outside. Now let's say we want to bet inside. So we put one chip on 23 straight up, and we're good. Unfortunately, that doesn't work that way. Even though you have all of these bets out here, you have $20 on the table right now, you still have to bet a minimum of $5 inside. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to put all $5 on one number or one position. You could take those $5 and spread them out, but as long as it's $5 minimum on the inside, you're good. So in roulette, I know it was a long explanation. In roulette, the minimum maximum sign, if you have a $5 minimum table, it's $5 for each bet on the outside bets and $5 total for the inside bets. And you could spread those bets around. It doesn't have to be 5 total on one bet like this. Okay, so let's see. I think I covered all that. Did the minimum, did the maximum, talked about that. Told you what the outside bets were, told you what the inside bets are. Okay, so let's talk about the numbers then. So I told you about the outside bets. Everyone should be good on that. If you're not, go ahead and put your question in the comments and I will answer it for you. Let's do inside bets real quick. Now there are different ways to bet on the numbers. Let's pick an area you guys could see. Okay, you could see this area right here. Okay. So if you put a number straight up on one number, that pays 35 to 1. If you can also do two numbers, which is putting on the line between this number and this number. That is known as a split, and a split pays 17 to 1. So this is a split. You could do three numbers. So you would put it right here on this line, and it would cover these three numbers right here. If you're doing three numbers, that's called a street, and it pays 11 to 1. So it's a street, and it pays 11 to 1. You could do four numbers, which is this right here, and this covers these four numbers, and this is called a corner bet, and a corner bet pays 8 to 1. Five numbers, and you guys can't see it in this screen right here, but you could see it over here. If you put, and this is only for 2 zeros, by the way. I have 1 0 on this table, but we're going to pretend for a second that I have 2 zeros. If you put it right up here in the corner, this is called the top line bet, and it covers 1, 2, 3, 0, and 00. So five numbers, and that pays 6 to 1. And again, you can only do that on a roulette game that has 2 zeros. So that's 6 to 1. Next up is a double street, which is 6 numbers or 2 streets, hence double street. And 6 numbers pay 5 to 1. So let me know if you guys got that. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm going to see what you guys are saying real quick in the chat, see if I can answer your questions, and then we'll move on. Okay, so Intergalactic Press. Did you see Jack Ryan dollar where the drone pilot won $27,000 on roulette? No, I did not see that. I haven't seen that, but that sounds like a normal casino story, and casino stories are crazy. I have so many crazy casino stories. Yay, Yabara, you made it. Hi, good to see you. Glad you made it. Tube Weens. I tend to play the third column. So 3, 6, 9, that's this column right here. Third column. Cool. How does it work for you? Do you like it, Tube Weens? Sweet. Hey, Shawnee. How you doing? Cool. Everyone having a good week? Hope so. Are you ready for Thanksgiving? That's coming up here pretty soon. Okay, so everyone's good in the chat. So we are good on questions. Let's move on. Next up is casing the layout. So what we were talking about before was for the players and also the dealers, because dealers need to know how to play the game as well. This section right here, this is for the dealers. Now, when you are dealing roulette, it is crucially important to case your layout. Crucially important. You must case your layout before every single spin. And what you're doing is you're making sure that all of the bets are positioned correctly, that there are no bets over or under the table limits, and that there are no bets that might be misinterpreted, just in case one of those numbers hit. So you want to verify what it is, what's there, and also you want to make sure that there are no high value checks playing. If there are any high value checks playing, which are greens inside or $25 inside or $100 outside, that's known as high checks playing, or you have to call checks play. And checks play notifies the floorman that you have high value checks on your table, and he should come over and just check it out. So you want to case the layout. You want to make sure you know what everyone's playing, sort of kind of like get an idea of what their style is. As a dealer, you want to focus on the bottom portion of the table, the third dozen and the columns, these column bets and the third dozen and all of these numbers. This is the most vulnerable section of your table. So you must pay special attention to this portion of your table. If there is going to be any cheating happening on your table, it's probably going to happen in this area right here. So that's why you want to watch it. If you have column bets, let's say you got column bets right here, you want to make sure you can see every single chip in that column bet, from the bottom chip to the top chip. What I don't want to go into this because normally I go into this with my casino managers, but there's a cheating technique that you do that hides chips from the dealer. So that's why you want to look at the bets. You want to case out your layout, make sure you know what every single person is playing. If you can't see the bottom chip, then adjust the chips, clear your hands, adjust the chips, so that way you can make sure you can see every single chip on that table. Casing the layout is extremely important for the dealer. Let's see here. Okay, so also too, a lot of pinching and pass posting happens on the roulette table. So what am I talking about? Let's say we have, I don't know, I'm trying to use a good example. Well, first let's explain what pinching and pressing is first. That might be better. Okay, so pinching and pressing. Pinching is if you have a bet on the table and then the number hits. Let's say you have a bet on 26 and 14 hits and you know this is a loser, but you don't want to lose it. Pinching is when you take it and like you just take it off the table. That's pinching. Okay, and pinching is the cheating maneuver that you want to watch out for. So look out for pinching. Also look out for past posting. Past posting means that after the ball is landed and you know what the number is, this number, you go and you put money after the bet has already dropped. This right here, that's past posting. Now, where did the term past posting come from? That's a pretty interesting term. So what is the origin behind it? Let's see. The term past posting originates from the horse racing industry. And when you're doing horse racing, typically there is a sound that indicates a call to post, meaning that no more bets can be taken. Any bets made after this time are considered past posting. And that's where the term past posting comes from. It comes from horse racing. Okay, so let's see if any of you guys have any questions real quick. Let me know if you want me to explain anything over again, or if you just have any other questions, I'll answer them. Let's see what you guys are saying in here. Rocky, which part was your mind blown on? I'm just curious. Oh, that's a good idea. Tube Wings says that he likes to play the third column because it has all the numbers that are multiples of 3. Cool. So at a $5 minimum, inside is mandatory to cover the minimum bets. Outside does it not cover the table minimum. Okay, so Yabara, unfortunately, you came in after I had just explained that whole thing. So you might want to check it out on the replay. I'll answer your question real quick. But yeah, I did this whole thing about minimum maximums and everything. So go check that out. But if you're doing a $5 minimum table and you want to bet black, it has to be $5 on black. You can't do $5 on black and $1 on one of the numbers. That doesn't count. If you want to do inside as well, you have to do $5 inside as well. Now the $5 doesn't have to be one stack like so. You could spread it out. It just has to be $5 total. If you want to bet out on the outside and you already have, like, say, chips on the inside, you can't just bet $1 on black. That doesn't work. It's a $5 minimum table, so all of the outside bets have to be $5 each. So each of these have to be $5 if you want to bet on the outside or the columns. If you want to bet on the inside, it has to be $5, but it could be spread out like so. Okay, I hope that answers your question. If not, check out the replay. That should explain everything because I think I talked about that for, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes. It was pretty long. But I hope that answers your question, Yabara. Hey, Colby. I just ruined your name. I'm sorry. Hey, Colby, how you doing? Name butcher. Hope you're having a good week. You just got your name butchered by me. Let's see. Intergalactic Press. Heather, is there any way for two people to mathematically cheat at roulette? So give me an example of what you're talking about. Usually when there is cheating on roulette, it's either pinching or pass posting, which if you didn't see that, I covered it earlier in the video. How else do they cheat? Okay, so we'll talk about this here in just a second, but when the dealer is spinning the ball, the roulette table or the roulette wheel is over here. As the dealer, watch out for people who are standing anywhere close to the roulette table. Cheating happens that way as well. So you want to make sure that people aren't standing around the roulette wheel. They usually have like a glass guard that sort of helps, but not really. Just keep an eye out for people in that area. So when people cheat on roulette, it's usually pinching or pass posting. If you have a chance, read American Roulette by Richard Marcus. It's a really, really good book. It goes into the different ways that you could cheat on roulette, and it's from the perspective of people who actually did this, and it's a really good book. Check it out. And yeah, that's typically that. Also, too, that's just cheating from the players. The casinos also have to worry about cheating from the dealers as well. See, cheating from players, yes, they're concerned about it, and that's what most people talk about when they're talking about cheating a casino. But the casinos have to worry about their dealers cheating just as much as they have to worry about their players cheating. So there are ways that dealers could cheat on the game, and that's why there's certain policies and procedures put into place to keep dealers from cheating. So an example of this is, let's see here. Let's say we have a bet on 17 and 17 hits. Typically, and I'll go into this later on when we're doing the take and pay procedure, the dealer has to mark the chips with their palm facing up so that way the cameras can see that there's nothing in their palm. Some dealers don't do that, and what they can do is they could place chips in their palm like so, and when they're going to mark the number, they could just go and mark the number real quick. Of course, I'm not very good at it because I don't sit here and practice forever like how to cheat. I should, but I don't. But basically, they have chips in their palm, and when they're going, they'll just drop the chips and then place the marker on it. Now, when they're doing this, their hands are always down, face down. The palms are always face down. So the cameras are seeing the back of their hands. That's an indication that something bad is going on or some kind of cheating is happening. So when the dealer's marking the chips, they got to mark it with the palm facing up. And that's an example of casinos having to worry about dealers cheating as much as they have to worry about players cheating. Okay, I hope I answered your question. Let me know. And of course, there's a lot of information that I'm not going to go into when it comes to cheating, because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to teach dealers what to watch out for so they could be better dealers, and I'm not trying to teach players how to cheat. So I'm trying to be very, very limited on how I explain cheating for that reason. So if you're playing on a roulette table that has like one or two other people and it's a really, really slow day and nothing's going on, no one is going to care if you're betting one hand and then you take money out the next hand and then you're betting the next hand and then you take money out the next couple hands. No one really cares. They'll let you play. They'll let you do that. Typically, they won't give you a problem with it. And again, it depends on the casino because every casino is different. If you are on, let's say, a roulette table on a Friday night around 8 or 9 p.m. when it's super busy and everybody is at the roulette table and people want to play and there's like no spots left and all the colors are taken and all of the roulette tables are busy. If you're sitting there and you're betting one hand and then taking money out a couple hands and then betting one hand, they're not going to like that very much. They're going to tell you, sir, can you please bet every time? If you can't, we're going to have to ask you to leave because there's all these players here who want to play and they're willing to play every hand. So it really just depends on the time of day that you're doing it and what's going on. If it's busy, they might ask you to leave because there's other people who want to play every hand versus you who are playing every other hand. Hope that answers your question. Let's see what else you guys are saying in the chat. Yes, much more than that, Rocky. Oh, good question. So Tony says, does the 0 count as an inside number or an outside number? That is a fantastic question. The zeros are neither, how am I going to put this? Okay, technically the 0 is an inside number, but as far as like the outside bets go, if a 0 hits, all of the outside bets lose. If a 19 hits, you know, the red will win, this will win, that will win. It's not like all of the bets are going to lose, right? So 0 is a little different than the other numbers, but because it's a number, it's considered an inside number. Hope that answers your question. Yeah, I know it's with an L. I'm sorry. I am so bad at butchering names. Colby. I swear, Colby. Not Kobe. Colby. I got it. We're good. I butcher everyone's name if it helps at all. Oh, sweet. Cool. Yeah, if you guys are ever in Las Vegas and you want to like just, I don't know, grab a pizza or hang out or chill, email me at heather@vegas-aces.com. Let me know at least, please, 2 or 3 weeks in advance. Actually, the more time you give me, the better that would be. I have to be able to like schedule this out. And I will come and we'll sit and we'll have pizza and it'll be awesome. There are some people who they wait until like the day that they show up. They're like, hey, I just got into Las Vegas. You want to go do this? You want to go do that? I'm like, no. I got stuff I got to do. I had today already planned like a week ago. So I know exactly what I'm doing today, and that's not part of it. So, yeah, I got to put it on the schedule. I know some people don't like that, but I have to put it on the calendar. I am not spontaneous when it comes to that. So please give me notice. Okay, let's see what else you guys are saying. Cool. Yes, exactly, Chad. She could teach us how to cheat, but then she'd have to kill us. I like that. That's funny. Is it super cold in January? What's your definition of super cold? Because I know it's different from my definition of super cold. So I was born and raised here. My definition of super cold is 50 during the day, 30 at night. That's my definition of cold. In January is pretty cold. The last couple years it's been a little bit warmer. Depending on the year, January could range from probably 35 to 55 during the day, and anywhere from, let's say, 15 degrees to about 35 degrees at night. That's January here. And we're pretty good as far as all the other weather. Sometimes we have rain and everything. Typically it snows once in January. Other than that, that's the weather in January here in Las Vegas. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Intergalactic Press. And now more and more casinos are offering roulette with 3 zeros. Okay, you guys gotta watch the replay on this because I went into this whole thing about 3 zeros, 2 zeros, 1 0, and I'm not going to do it again. But check out the replay and you will get all of that information. Pizza party! I love that idea. I would totally do that. Yes, sweet. My connection is intermittent. I do apologize about my internet connection. My internet connection has been really spotty lately. I don't know why. I'm going to have to redo it or something. Sorry about the bad internet connection. Hopefully it's not too bad. I'll find out when I rewatch it and I'll be like, oh, they missed that part and they missed that part. And that was a really good part and you didn't see any of it. Sorry. Internet. Okay, next up, spinning the ball. Now, the dealer is going to spin the ball. When they are spinning the ball, they cannot look at the wheel when they are spinning the ball. And that is another thing that we're going to talk about cheating. Dealers are not allowed to look at the wheel when they spin the ball. The wheel should be spinning at a reasonable speed. Not so fast that it's difficult to read the numbers as they pass by, but not so slow that it's like at a snail's pace or at a crawl. You don't want it like that. You want it at a nice, reasonable speed where they can read the numbers. The ball must go around a minimum of 3 times in order for it to be a valid spin. If it does not, if it goes around once or twice or something happens and it can't get all 3 times, say no roll, or no roll is for craps, I'm sorry. Say no spin and then respin it. So no spin, respin it. Let's see. The dealer is going to listen for the ball as it's spinning on the wheel. When they hear it slowing down, they know that it's time to wave their hands over the table and say no more bets. Players are not allowed to bet after the dealer does this. So again, the dealer will wave their hand over the table and say no more bets. And then what they're going to do is they're going to take 2 or 3 steps back, so that way they could see both the table, all of the numbers, and the wheel at the exact same time. Now focus on how your body is. How is your body squared? We're going to talk about this here in like a little bit more in detail. But make sure your body is always squared towards the table so you could see both the numbers and the wheel at the exact same time. And if you have to take a few steps back to do that, go ahead and do that. But what you do, or I should say there are some dealers, what they do is they will have tunnel vision, and they will actually turn their body and their back from the table. So the ball is dropping, they watch the ball as they're dropping, and you could see I have tunnel vision, and my back right here, you could see the back, it is facing away from the table. So I'm looking at the ball and I can't see anything that is happening in this area right here. Horrible, horrible, horrible. Do not deal that way. Always make sure your body is angled so you could see both the numbers and the wheel at the exact same time. So the ball drops, you're looking at the numbers, you're going to quickly glance at the ball and then back at the numbers. So quickly glance at the ball, back at the numbers. Okay, so 30 was it. And now you don't take your eyes off of 30. Okay? Let's see. Now, when you're spinning the ball, there are some dealers who spin the ball with the 2 fingers. They take 2 fingers like this, and they take the ball with the, actually, do I have a roulette ball? I do have a roulette ball, but I don't have it here. Otherwise, I could show this to you. You would put the roulette ball in between your 2 fingers right here, and then you would take it and flip it around like that. Now, doing it this way is easier. It's easier to spin the ball like that, but it is so bad for your wrist. You are going to kill your wrist, especially if you were doing this multiple times per week for years on end. You are just going to totally kill it. You're going to have carpal tunnel. You're going to have cyst. You're going to have surgery. I mean, it's just going to be really bad. So when you're learning how to spin the ball on roulette, try really, really hard to learn how to spin the ball correctly and not do the 2-finger movement with the flick of the wrist. If you're having a bad night and you just need to get it over with, then go ahead and do the 2-finger movement with the flick, because you're not going to continue doing it. You just need to get through like that one portion or get through one night, because sometimes just snapping the ball doesn't work. But don't do it if you can help it. So how are you supposed to spin the ball? Dealers snap it. So just like you would snap, just like that, that's how you would spin the ball. So you take your fingers like you're going to snap it, like so. Take your fingers and put the ball in between your thumb and your middle finger. So you're at the wheel. You have your fingers like you're going to snap. The ball is right here in between your 2 fingers. And then you're up against the wall, up against that groove, and you snap. And as you see, when you snap, your wrist is completely straight. It doesn't move. It doesn't flick. It doesn't do any of that. And you just snap the ball and it quickly rotates and you've done a perfect spin. This is the best way to spin the ball, because by keeping your wrist straight, you're going to avoid all of those problems that I talked about earlier. Carpal tunnel, cyst and everything, surgery. You're going to avoid all of that. So that's why you want to snap the ball when you spin it on roulette versus actually spinning and flicking your wrist, which is really horrible for the wrist. When you are learning how to spin the ball, or if you know how to spin the ball and you just deal this all the time, it really doesn't matter. There are going to be times when the ball flies out of the wheel and onto the floor. It just happens. It doesn't mean you're a bad dealer. It doesn't mean you don't know how to spin the ball or, snap the ball. It just happens. It's just the way life is. Sometimes it happens. It's not a big deal. Now, when this happens, the dealer needs to watch the ball. So don't take your eyes off the ball. It's similar to when you're pitching on a single deck game and the card goes over the table. Stop what you're doing and focus on where the card went down, or focus on where the ball went down, and just look at that. Make sure you call out to your floor, ball down, or, usually it's card down, ball out, or, floor. I just flicked the ball out of the wheel. It's like, rolling underneath the bar stools over there by the bar. But just notify the floor, let him know that the ball was flicked out of the wheel. He will go and grab the ball, or one of the players will go and get the ball. They'll give it to you. Make sure the floorman inspects the ball before putting it back into play. You have to inspect the ball before you put it back into play. So the player, let's say, gives you the ball. Make sure you give that ball to the floorman. Foreman will look it over, make sure it's like a good roulette ball, and then you could go back and spin it again. Okay, so let's see if you guys have any questions so far, and then we will continue. We're doing good on time. It's 3 p.m. We got a little more to go, so we're probably going to just go a little bit longer than what we normally do. Let's see. Yeah, spinning the ball can be one of the more difficult parts of roulette. If you're learning how to spin the ball, what you do is on your break, like let's say you're dealing at a casino, you want to learn roulette. When you go on break, instead of going to the dealer's break room, find a roulette table that is dead, completely empty with no players. Go to the floorman, ask him if it's okay, if you could practice spinning the ball while you're on break. Usually they'll say yes, they won't have a problem with it at all. And then while you're on break, go to the roulette wheel and just practice snapping the ball over and over and over and over again. If it flies out, it's not a big deal. Go and grab it, have the floorman inspect it, and then go back and keep doing that. And you just have to keep practicing, because dealing is all about muscle memory. It's all about doing all of this a million times. So that's the only way you're going to learn, is by practicing and doing it a million times. Sweet. Let me know how it goes, Colby. I hope it works. Awesome. Crazy man from Ireland. Good to see you. How are you? Thank you very much for the kind words. 11 p.m.? Holy cow. 6 p.m. on the East Coast, and it's 3 p.m. here in Las Vegas. Wow. That's why sometimes I try to do like different times. That's why I do like 2 p.m.s on Thursday and then 7 p.m. on Monday. I'm not exactly a fan of doing it at 7 p.m. on Monday, but it seems to be better for the people who are like across the world and it's like morning for them. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so everyone's good. Let's talk about what we were talking about before. I said we would go into it a little bit later on. Staying square with the game. So as you flick the ball is spinning. As the ball drops, the dealer needs to step back and look at both the wheel and the ball at the same time. So the ball's dropping, you're sitting there, you're looking at the layout, you're not taking your eyes off the layout, and then as soon as the ball drops, you quickly look over, look and see what number it is. You glance, it's not even look, you glance over, see what number it is, and then you mark it. So your eyes go back to the layout. Never ever have your eyes leave the layout. You always want to see what people are doing at all times when that ball is dropping. That is a very vulnerable time of that game, is when the ball drops. So it's very important that the dealer does this. Also too, this will make it easier to make sure that players don't pinch or pass post their bets in this area right here. So that's what you want to focus on. The dealer's body should always be square to the game, so that way the dealer could see the entire layout at all times. The dealer should never have any part of the table blocked from view. On a right-handed table, when paying the player, that's another good point. Let's say they won $100 and I'm paying the player. So let's get some money over here so I can pay the player. Okay. So bet hits, the dealer has to pay the player. One of the things that they do, if you are on a right-handed table and you're paying the player, the dealer will deliver the roulette chips with their left hand, so that way the dealer's head and body are never turned on the bank. So the bank, the money, the important part of the table, let's say the wheel is going to be right here. The bank is going to be right here. This is a left-handed table. Otherwise, the zero would be over here. If the zero was over here, it'd be a right-handed table. So this right here is a left-handed table. And that means because it's a left-handed table, you want to be paying with your right hand. So if I have to pay a player, what I'm going to do is I'm going to organize the chips in a way that I can actually pay them. There we go. And then I'm going to use my right hand to pay. The reason why, if you could see this, I'm paying the player and my body is still open to the table. Of course, my hands are not being very good right now, so the chips are falling. Left-handed tables were never my strong suit. So, left-handed table, dealer is paying with the right hand, like so, and my body is square with the bank. So that way I could see the bank at all times. And I can also see all of the chips and everything. Now, let's say if I'm on a left-handed table and I pay with my left hand. So let's say instead of doing that, I pay with my left hand. Notice how when I do that, my arm crosses over and now my back is turned to the bank. So now my back is turned to the bank, which is over here, and I can't see what's going on with the bank. So there could be a player over here standing next to the wheel, and when I'm paying with my left hand and my back is turned to the bank, they can easily grab money from the bank and walk away, and I would never have known it because my back is turned to the bank. So you never, ever, ever want to turn your back to the bank. On a left-handed wheel, you want to stay square to the game, pay with your right hand so you can see everything at all times. If, let's say, for example, this is a right-handed wheel, you're going to pay with your left hand, which means you can see the bank at all times. Always keep your body square to the game. Let's see. Okay, so we went over that. So now we're on the take and pay procedure. Let me see what you guys are saying in the chats. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. And then we'll go over the pay and take procedure, or take and pay procedure. Technically, it's the take and pay procedure because you always take first and pay second. More information than you needed, but you know. Okay, and I am just totally screwing up with the chips right now. Okay, so let's see what you guys are saying. Oh, good. No new comments. That makes it easy. I mean, I like your comments. Don't get me wrong. Let's see. Okay, I'll just muck it up real quick. Just the easiest way to do it. Oh, and I should explain mucking too. That's a good point. I don't think I've gone over mucking. Remind me. I need to go over mucking. Okay, so the ball has spinned. It's dropped. The number is 20. The dealer marks the number with their palm facing up. And now they're going to pay the bets, the take and pay procedure. When they are doing this, the dealer is always going to go outside in. Now, what does that mean? Well, first of all, they're going to take the bets. They always take the losing bets first, and then they pay the winning bets. When they pay the winning bets, that's when we're doing the outside in. So, first off, let's say, for example, 20 hit, and we have a bunch of chips everywhere. Like the whole thing is just completely filled. There's so many chips everywhere, like so. And let's do this, 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 this. Okay. So the dealer marks the bet, and the palm is facing up. The first thing they're going to do is take the money. They're going to determine who won and who lost. And whoever lost, they're going to move those chips away. And that way the dealer can only see what won. So, for example, we have this. I need to put more bets out here. Let's say we have this right here. Let's say we got this right. What are we doing? 22? Yeah, so let's do that on odd. Okay, so the first thing they're going to do is they're going to take all of the money outside and then, or I'm sorry, the first thing they're going to do is they're going to spread the chips so that way we could see who the winners are, or yeah, who the winners are. And then we're going to take all of the losing bets first from the outside, and then we're going to sweep the chips on the inside. So let me show you how to do that. Ball drops, the number is 22, dealer marks it. First thing we're going to do is determine who won. This isn't a winner, that's not a winner, that's not a winner, these won, that's not a winner, that's not a winner. Okay, so now we've cleared the area, so they're going to clear the area. So now we know who won. And now we're going to take all of the losing bets. So this lost, that's a winner, that lost, and now we're sweeping. And they sweep. And you should do the sweeps in 2 sweeps. So this one sweep would be the top, the second sweep would be the bottom, and then you're done. If you're a dealer and you're sweep, 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 that's not good. That's way too many sweeps. You only want to do it twice. One big sweep all at once, second big sweep, and you're done. And then you could put it off to the side to muck later, or your helper would help muck, or your mucker would help muck the table or muck the chips. Okay, so now you pay. And when you pay, you always pay outside going in. That's what I was talking about. So all the outside bets first. So we have an even money bet right here. We're going to pay even money on that. Let's just say, for example, and no, this is not a past post. Let's just say, for example, we have a bet right here. Okay. You're going to pay this one, the columns, first, 2 to 1. Then you're going to pay the even money bet, 1 to 1. And then you're going to come in and you're going to do the dozens. Pay the dozens 2 to 1. And then you're going to pay the numbers. And what you do is you do all of the colors all at once. This isn't a good example. So let's say, for example, we have a blue chip here, green chip here. Let's do an orange chip right here and another green chip right here. Okay, so as you could see, all of the colors are different. We have greens and blues all over the place. You don't pay each bet individually. So, for example, we have one blue on a double street that pays 5 to 1. You don't give him $5, for example, and then move on to the green, move on to the orange, move on to the green, and now you're moving these, or now you're paying these, and you see he has 2 splits, which is 17 to 1, which is 34. You already paid him the $5 for this. You don't go back and pay him 34 for that. That's a horrible way of doing it. What you do is you add all of them together. Again, remember, outside in, and one thing I didn't tell you, top to bottom. Outside in, top to bottom. So the first outside bet that I see is this blue chip right here. So we're going to take the blue chip and add all of the blue chips together and pay the blue chips all at once at one time. Not separately like before, all at one time. So we have a double street here, that pays 5 to 1. We got 2 splits right here, that's 17 to 1 twice, so that's 34 plus 5, which is 39. You're going to take 2 20 stacks. They should all be in stacks of 20. These ones, probably a stack of 20. You know that pays 39. You take a stack of 20s, like here, 2 20s. Drop 1. That's the one that is the extra one. So this is 39. And then you go and you give them the 39 and you move on. Okay, next up is green chips. We have 3 green chips on a street, which is 11 to 1, so that's 33. 2 green chips on the double street. 5 to 1, that's 10. So 33 plus 10, that's 43. We have 1 corner, that's 8. 8 plus 33 is 41. Then we have a 17. 17 plus 41 is 51, 58. So 58 is the total number that we have to give the green chips. And again, 58 is 2 off from 60, so you grab 3 stacks of 20. 3 stacks of 20 equals 60, like so. Don't mind my mess. We'll just throw it over here for the muck, and then I'll show you how to muck later. Okay, so we got 3 stacks of 20, like so. And we know that it is 58. So we have our 3 stacks, which is 60. You just take 2 off, like so. And then you pay the player. And you pay them the 58 with the stack, or the chips. Okay, next up is orange. So orange is, let's see, we got one orange on the street, which is 11 to 1. We have 2 orange on a corner, that's 8 to 1, so that's 16 for those 2. And then we have 3 straight up. 3 straight up is 105, 35, 70, 105. So we are going to do, let's see, 105 plus 16, which is 121, plus 11, which is 131. So that pays 131. I'm lazy. I admit it. So what I would do is I would take 2 stacks of 40, like so. Put it in half. That's 30. Leave 1. So we got 31. And then I grab a $100 black chip. Oh, let's see if I got a $100 black chip anywhere. Let me see where my black chips are. Okay. Then I would grab a $100 black chip and put it on top, and that's 131, and I would pay them 131. And when you're paying them 131 with a black chip, you want to notify your floorman, black out, and he knows that you gave out a black chip. And then you pick up the marker and you're done. After that, after you've done the take and pay procedure, the players are going to take their money that you just gave them, and they're going to start betting again. And you are going to muck the chips. This is the fun part. Let me go over mucking real quick. When you're sweeping the chips, you're going to have a huge pile of chips that you're going to have to deal with really, really fast, because these players, they want to get the game going. They don't want a slow game. They want a nice, steady pace. And you, as the dealer, have to keep that nice, steady pace. So what you're going to do, you have all of these chips right here, which is your pile. You are gonna muck. Mucking is fun. And we used to actually have tournaments and everything. We would try to see like how fast each of us could muck, just for fun. So you got your pile. You are looking for the same color chips. You're grabbing them like so with your finger and forethumb, your forefinger and your thumb. And you are putting them in the palms of your hand. And you're trying to muck 20 chips. So you could do a stack of 20 and move on. So let me show you real quick what this looks like. Let's see how fast I could do this. It's been a while, so I'm a little bit rusty. And you are mucking those chips as fast as you can. And you want to get this done before the players have a chance to finish betting. If you are still mucking, let's say, for example, you have a large pile of chips that you are mucking, and that ball needs to be spun, just go like that, spin the ball, and then continue mucking as the ball is spinning. By the time that ball starts to fall, you should be done mucking up all of the chips. Take a step back, take a glance, okay, 23-1. And then you do the same thing all over again. Spread it out, do the take and pay procedure, sweep, sweep, all of that fun stuff, and then, whew, muck it all up again. And it goes by really fast. This was actually one of my favorite games to deal. The night goes by so fast. It's actually pretty fun mucking. I like that. Sometimes if you have a really, really busy night, they'll give you an extra dealer, and that's your mucker. And that's all the mucker does all night. It's just they just sit there and muck up all the chips. If you are the mucker, one of the good things to do, because of course it's not just about mucking the chips, if you're sitting there and you're mucking up the chips and the dealer has the number and they're going to pay, as the mucker, you're over here and you're looking and you're saying, okay, they got this, they got that, they got this. It's a $131 payout. You are going to get those chips ready for the dealer. So you get the 31 chips ready, put the 100 on top, have it ready right here. So that way all the dealer needs to do is, oh, here we go. Got the money, take it, pay it out like so. Take the next stack, pay it out. Next stack, pay it out, and continue. So a mucker is really, really good when you want to have a lot of spins per hour and you want a good pace of the game. Especially on a busy game where everyone is playing and they're chunking. When I say chunking, I'm talking about usually when players play, they put one chip here, one chip here, one chip here. What chunking is they chunk stacks of chips on one number or one spot all over the table. That is chunking. So if you have 3 or 4 players who are chunking on the table, it's going to be a fun night. And I mean that sarcastically, but I mean that seriously too. Like, it's going to be a busy night and it's just going to fly by, and it'll also be fun because it's a lot of math, and I don't know, I enjoy the math, so I enjoy the whole thing. Let me see what you guys are saying, and then we'll move on. I need to get going here pretty fast, so we're going to be ending this here pretty soon. Okay, so Intergalactic Press says, in Tampa, the redemption machines don't disperse coins. You're right, they don't. No more coins, only tickets. And this, of course, increases the profit for the casino. If they give you coins, you're going to walk out with the coins because, you know, it's money and you can use it. If you have a ticket and you walk out with the ticket, you might not cash the ticket. Let's say you walk out with a $2 ticket or a $1 and some cents ticket, and you accidentally forgot to cash it out. You might just throw that away because who wants to go all the way back to the casino to get $1 and some change? And that's part of the strategy for casinos on how to increase their profits, because all of that change adds up. If someone cashes out at a machine and they have 2 cents left, they'll leave the ticket there, and it might not be cashed. It might be thrown out. Well, that's money the casino just made by having to do nothing, and that is why they switched that. Heather's about to go amok. That's funny. Great question, Chad. Do casinos in Vegas not normally have a chipping machine? So what he's talking about is at some roulette tables, there is a machine on the table that mucks for you. There are good and bad things about the machine. I personally, it's one of those love-hate relationships. They're not really that great to have. The reason why is for table protection and game security. And I'm not going to go into this. I don't want to give you guys the details and all that, but there is a strategy that people use to get a higher value chip than what is deserved. And if you have a chip counting machine on your game, this is going to greatly hinder the dealer and the floorman's ability to make sure that people don't pull off this cheating move. You have to be able to see all of your chips at the same time, and when you're having a chip counting machine, those chips are in the counting machine, and then you take them out in 20s as you go, so there's a lot of chips still in the machine. So it's not like you could just glance over and you see all of your roulette chips and they're all there and they're all accounted for like they should be. You can't just do that on a chip counting machine, and this hinders the casino's ability to protect the game as far as that one cheating maneuver or scheme that I was thinking about. I was trying to answer the question but not give too much information. Hopefully that answers it. Like I said, I really don't want to go on YouTube and talk about all of the different ways to cheat, because I don't want people to use that as I don't want to give a lesson to teach people how to cheat. I want to teach dealers how to stop cheaters. So that's what I'm trying to do. Okay, let's see what else you guys are saying. Is there a minimum age to work as a dealer? It depends on the location. There are some locations where you have to be 21 to be a dealer, and other locations where you have to be 18 to be a dealer. There are some India casinos where you could be 18 and deal, so it really just depends on the location. Okay, awesome. So let's see what else we have going here. Let me see if I forgot anything real quick. Okay, so it looks like I covered almost everything. Unfortunately, the one thing we didn't get to is the different ways of pushing the chips out. We're going to have to cover that later on in a different live stream. If you want to know how to do that, again, check out my website, vegas-aces.com. Go to the articles section under Roulette, and you will see all of the hand placements for how to push the chips. So you'll see all the points of where to put each finger, and also what direction to push that combination of chips. And also what patterns to make, because you have to make patterns with them. For example, if you're doing 4 stacks of 20, then you have a pattern. If you're doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If you're doing 7 stacks, I believe, 8, 9, I think it's 8. If you're doing 8 stacks of roulette chips, then you're going to create like a flower looking pattern or design, and then push it out that way. And you'll see all what I mean in that PDF that I have on my website. Just a quick reminder, Vegas Aces is supported by viewers like you. Donations do make it possible for all of these videos to be brought to you for free. If you think that this video was worth more than $0, then please donate the amount that you feel it was worth by clicking the link in the description below. That does it for today's show. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Thank you for your questions. Thank you for everything. And join us again next time for our roulette tournament live stream on Monday, November 25th at 7 p.m. Until then, this is Heather Ferris with Vegas Aces, reminding you that education can change the world. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and I'll see you on Monday. Have a good one.